Graham Gartland here at the Hellfire Club. Welcome to Clear the Head. Each week we'll be talking to a member of Shamrock Rovers Football Club, going for a walk through their life and their journey.
I think I'm very lucky to become a footballer, because I suppose most lads are in academies at 13, 14, 15, whereas I probably didn't start playing serious kind of senior football till I was about 18, 19. So I
probably know yourself where the writing's on the wall. It's time to move on.
Like the cost of living in Dublin
I think if I'd done my research, I probably would have stayed where I was. But it's mad like what people have to pay for rent and maybe try and save for a house. So we made the decision just to move back home to Tuam and Galway and bought a house there.
All right.
So we're very lucky.
But that's where you're going to settle, is it, eventually?
Yeah, you never know in football.
Yeah. Rory, thanks for coming up. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to come up and meet us.
Thanks for having me.
Your journey in football has been probably a little bit later than most people. You came into the league late. Do you think that helped you or hindered you starting out?
I suppose it's hard to know. I think I'm very lucky to become a footballer, because I suppose most lads are in academies at 13, 14, 15, whereas I probably didn't start playing serious kind of senior football till I was about 18, 19. So I suppose at that stage most people have either packed it in or they're doing well for themselves. Yeah.
No, because you came through, obviously you were in Galway, but you played a lot of Gaelic before you went into football, was it?
Yeah, I would have played Gaelic football with Tuam Stars and played soccer with Merview. They would have been Galway.
Yeah.
Merview and Saltilly the two strong. Well, they were the two strong.
Yeah.
Say schoolboy clubs when we were growing up, but I think it went under 16s and then it skipped a year under 16s, 18s.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I kind of went back to my hometown team, Tuam Celtic, started playing junior football. I think it was like second or third division in Galway. So it wasn't a great level to be playing at 17, 18.
Was that men's football?
Yeah.
But do you think that helped you then as well? Like the physicality?
Maybe just coming up against men, and probably you have to start using your body.
Yeah.
And then I suppose I went back to Merview, and they ended up entering a team. Do you remember the A Championship?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So Johnny Glynn spotted me playing an under 18 game one day. Johnny played for Shamrock Rovers.
That's right. Yeah, captain for Galway to a cup.
Yeah. So he spotted me playing one Sunday morning. And he said, we're going to enter in this competition in the League of Ireland. It's going to be the new third tier.
Right.
There's going to be an under 20 team and a senior team. Would you like to come in for a bit of training? And I was kind of at the time thinking, it'd be great to be part of the under 20s.
Yeah.
No way would I get near the first team. But I ended up playing a lot of the games really, and with the first team, and we ended up beating Kildare County in a playoff.
That's right, yeah.
So Kildare County finished bottom of the first division, and because we had done well in the league, so we won the playoff, and the club took the step and invested.
Went up.
Yeah, I don't know what they invested in Merview, but spent a bit of money, and all of a sudden we were playing first division football.
That's right. I think Kildare probably went to the wall after that, didn't he?
Yeah. They did. Pat Hoobman actually was in that team as well.
Was he?
So kind of Johnny Glynn always says I'd be playing Gaelic football and Pat Hoobman be playing hurling if it wasn't for the championship.
Yeah.
And it's true, it's another thing. Johnny wouldn't be, I suppose myself and Pat definitely wouldn't be footballers without Johnny Glynn.
You think so? Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because there was Galway United weren't in a good place at the time. They'd no academy there, no underage structure, and there was no like under 15s, 17s, 19s like there is now.
Do you think them structures help now?
They're definitely helping the young lads now. Yeah. Because all the best players in each area are coming together 2 or 3 times a week, probably getting coached by proper A licensed coach probably, and getting to play against the best teams in Ireland.
Would you be a product of maybe being not coached? In that you kept your rawness and you still have that rawness and you play with freedom?
Yeah, definitely for the first few years. Yeah, because I would have played when I started off. I would have played as a left winger. Yeah. And then didn't really become an out-and-out striker till I went to Limerick. Yeah. And that was probably 4 or 5 years later.
Limerick came in to take you from Merv, and they had to pay compensation for you. You were actually over in St Johnson.
Yeah.
You played a match with us. I think we played a friendly against somebody and you scored 4
Yeah, and yeah.
And I was talking to the manager, Derek McGuinness, and Tony Docherty afterwards, and I was like, what more does you have to do? Like, you have to sign him. We were crying out. We couldn't score at that stage, but the move sort of fell through. And I was a bit like, I remember talking to you, going, I can't believe we haven't taken you. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think I trained with you. You were in Dublin, weren't you, for a pre-season kind of tour?
Yeah.
And I trained, and I'd say that it was probably more of a favour that I actually got to train with you, I think, more than anything else.
Right.
Can't imagine they were watching the First Division in Ireland for players.
I think I remember talking to the assistant, and he'd asked me about you. And I says, do you know what? Stephen was at Limerick, wasn't he? Stephen.
Yeah.
So I said, like, I find out about him. And obviously I spoke to Stephen Bradley, and then he's like, listen, Graham, he's raw, like, he'll rip it. And then you did. I remember sort of going, what more does a kid have to do?
Yeah, I think at the time, the first week I went there was 5 strikers.
Yeah.
And then the second week I went back, there was 7 strikers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got a lad in on loan from Celtic, and then we signed another fella.
Yeah, so I would have been the 8th striker. So
yeah.
I was in college as well, so I'd only probably 1 year done on my degree, and I didn't think it was probably the right thing to do to try. Yeah. Try and I suppose become the 8th striker at the club if they were to give me an offer. But
and listen, it wasn't exactly
it was
like
deadline day in Ireland or deadline weekend.
Yeah, that's
in Ireland.
right.
So I went back home and
it wasn't life changing. Like, let's be honest, it was St Johnstone. It was an opportunity rather than this is going to be life changing for me.
Whereas I thought if I went back to Limerick, I was going to play. You know, I was going to get to finish off college, and I just thought it was probably.
And what did you finish in college? What did you do?
I did a degree in accounting.
Accounting.
So it's nice to have that to say. I had that to fall back on.
Yeah, but is it something you look to do then when you finish?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I can't use it. There seems to be plenty of jobs in it, but I don't know what I want to do, to be honest.
Yeah. So then that brought you Limerick. Then you done really well at Limerick. I think played against you in 2012, and you were just on the up and up, and then you get a move. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we ended up playing Rovers. You were playing for Rovers in the cup.
Yeah.
I think we were a first division team at
That's
the time,
right.
and with a few injuries, and I was playing, let's say, playing left wing, but I ended up playing up front that day.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember. I remember chasing one into the corner and sort of thinking I'll get there, like, and then you just came on the outside, and I was like, I didn't realise how quick you were. I remember thinking, he's
days,
rapid, like, yeah. Well, not my days, your days. I was like, geez, I couldn't believe how quick you were, like, you know.
Yeah, so that was probably my first time actually playing up front for Limerick.
Yeah.
And after that, Pat Scully was the manager, you know, ex-Rovers. Pat was good as well.
Yeah.
Liked working under him, but it was part-time really with Limerick, so it would have been, I suppose, great to have had a season with him full-time.
Yeah.
To see more of him.
Because they had loads of great plans, Limerick, didn't they, about like being full-time and putting all these structures in place and all their underage stuff, and it seemed a little bit like they wanted to do everything without really focusing on the steps to do it.
Yeah, well, I suppose I was probably too young to realise what was going on at the time, but they never really had the support, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know, they went into Thomond Park for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It was obviously unbelievable to be playing your matches in Thomond Park, but the problem was there was no
I remember that, yeah, that was in 2013, wasn't it?
2013, 14, yeah. I'm going to say, I think they were there 2 or 3 years anyways.
Yeah.
That probably cost a fair bit of money to be going in there.
Yeah.
Then obviously they got the Markets Field going. I never played there, but that was the kind of the big thing that they were working towards, getting back to Markets Field.
You eventually get moved to the UK.
Yeah. I suppose, I was probably, again, lucky again.
Did you have a few options?
No, I just kept getting injured really, and at the time the League of Ireland was kind of 1 year deals. And 28 and 30-week contracts and stuff.
That's right, yeah.
So I'd always pick up some sort of an injury that I'd have to kind of keep playing on.
Right.
To get another contract.
Right.
And then I'd need an operation in the off season, and it'd normally take me a couple of months to get going.
That 38 week, and I remember 42, and you don't get paid in the off season, and they still want you to train. And like I think people outside sort of look in and think, oh, you're lucky to be a footballer, I should just get on with it, and you're going, but you're literally signing on the dole for 12 weeks to then go.
I didn't mind. I was in college.
Yeah.
We had done it for free at my review for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So to be getting paid to do it for 22 weeks or whatever it was, 28 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy with it.
Yeah.
In the off season I go back to college, so I wouldn't have been working anyways. So I suppose I was lucky like that, but different story if it was to happen now. Like.
And how did you get your move then to the UK?
Martin Russell became our manager. You know, he was at UCD.
That's right, yeah. I was talking to Martin the other day.
He was very good.
Yeah.
He kind of
again, I was kind of swapping between centre forward and left wing.
Yeah.
He came in, he just said, listen, you're going to be centre forward. This is what I want from you. Kind of, I'd finished college, so I really, I suppose, was training full time at this stage, where I might have missed the odd session when I was in college in Galway. And he just brought in a couple of players, a few wingers, and kind of just worked really for me.
Yeah.
Just got a lot of goals towards the end of the season. I think I might have had 4 goals up until when he came in, and I think got like 11 and 13 games for him.
Yeah.
So it was went on a good run really, and Cambridge actually, they used to come over and watch the games.
Yeah.
Cambridge United, and they were watching Grove Morrissey play.
Yeah.
And we happened to play against them.
Right.
I did well in that game, and I think they came back to watch me, and obviously I was scoring a few goals, so got an offer to go there.
And how was it going over there? Like Cambridge would have been, what were they, League 2 at the time?
Yeah, they just got promoted. I was at conference. And
right.
Myself and Grode signed.
Cambridge is lovely though. It's a nice place, is it?
Yeah, it's student town.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah.
But they drew Man United in the cup.
That's
FA
right.
Cup.
Yeah.
And yeah, they kind of, I suppose, got a bit of money.
Right.
They kind of signed lads, and myself and Grode didn't really play. Now I got injured there. I ended up having to have surgery on my ankle.
Right. How long did that keep you out for?
So I was signed in January and didn't make my debut until the following September.
Jesus.
And then made my debut, and the manager was sacked 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later.
Who was the manager there at the time?
Richard Money.
Right.
And new manager came in and just said, don't know anything about you, I'm bringing in my own lads.
Yeah.
Away you go. And then I got a loan to Bristol for a month.
Right.
Bristol Rovers in League 2.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying there till, I suppose I ended up signing for 18 months in January because I did well on loan, and we got promoted on the last day of the season, last minute.
Brilliant.
So it was a great move, worked out well.
Yeah. But like you said, like people don't realise how cutthroat football is at times. Like a fella just walks in and says, you know what, my job's on the line, I'm gonna go with people I trust, I don't know you. And you sort of as a footballer have to go, have to take that.
You understand it really, I suppose, because
you don't seem to be somebody that gets sort of overly personal about decisions where you're like, listen, that's his decision.
When I was younger, like.
Would you?
Would you have been the same?
Yeah, I would have been a bit like, you know, I'm giving you all I can here. Is it still not enough? Like, you know, that type of thing. But I don't think it was like, you seem quite relaxed to understand. Go, well, he wanted to bring his own people. I wasn't one of them. You know, I think hindsight gives you a lot of, like, a maturity gives you a lot of.
Oh, if I was younger now, I would have been probably losing the head over it. But no, I did. It was Sean Derry, you know, the ex-QPR midfielder. That's right. And I said to him, you're making a mistake, like, you need to give me a chance.
Yeah.
Like, I've been injured, like, I've watched a lot of the games. I'm just getting back to full fitness. I actually scored 2. I only started 1 game from Cambridge, and I scored twice.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a bang in that game, so I ended up missing it the following game or something. And I said, like, I've only played 1 game, like, just watch it back, like. And he was like, no, you're not going to play here. So I went out to Bristol for a month, and
Bristol's lovely as well, isn't it? Yeah.
I played 7 games on loan and scored 5.
Yeah.
So then he brought me back for a game, and I just went into him every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Every morning I just said, I don't want to be here. You didn't want me a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, give it a chance. I was like, no.
You didn't give me a chance, like.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to refuse to play, like, but I'm happy. Like,
yeah.
I just want to go back to Bristol.
So that's because you felt that's where you had a better.
Bristol Rovers now is just a big. It's a big club. Both Bristol clubs are, to be fair. And what I was told down there was there's no Premier League team around Bristol.
That's right. Yeah.
So you either support Rovers or you support City.
Yeah.
So whereas when I was at Cambridge, there was a lot of Tottenham fans, and there was a lot of Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Because it's only half an hour up the
road. No, my wife was born in Bristol. She moved up to Scotland when she was 10, and Bath University is in Bristol near it, isn't it?
So town as well, yeah.
It's lovely, like.
But I was lucky actually for the places that I lived in England. They were nice places.
Yeah. And would you ever go homesick on these, or would you? I know it. Listen, I don't want to say a lot of people from the country want to go home. A lot of the Dublin lads are the same. Like Jack talks about the comfort he has when he gets home. Gano loves Ringsend, like you know, still lives there. I think.
But would you have got? I just wanted to be a footballer. Do you know, I knew I was going to come home once it finished.
Yeah.
But I suppose just grateful for the chance, really.
Yeah.
Someone told me all I ever wanted to do when I started playing for my review was to get to go United.
Yeah.
And then I bypassed that, like, so if someone said, oh, you're going to get a crack at playing in England, I was never going to go home from that.
Like you talk about your goal scoring record there, and again, going to Bristol and then your goal scoring record is good. A lot of your work is done outside the box at times. You get, especially watching with Rovers, you get them up the pitch at times if Rovers are deep, but you're willing to run channels. Your hold-up play is brilliant, and I know you get probably annoyed that you don't get or add more goals, but a lot of the work you do is outside the box. Is that tough when you play as the one on its own, or in the UK did you play with other players where you might have? I know you played with Adam Rooney, for example.
Well, yeah, I played with a lad at Bristol and Rovers, Matty Taylor.
Yeah.
And he was top class goal scorer.
Yeah.
He got about maybe 20 in the conference.
Yeah.
Then he got about 26 in League Two.
Oof.
And then by Christmas he had about, I'm going to say, maybe 17
Yeah.
in League One. And Bristol City bought him.
Right.
Now, he never really played for Bristol City because, again, it probably just went up the levels.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of said once that he was no longer the goal scorer, where he had to do running outside the box,
Yeah.
and that wasn't his game. But he's went on to Oxford and again scored loads of goals
Yeah.
for Oxford. And then obviously played with Adam Rooney at Salford, and we even said it to him last week, that was his strength though.
Yeah.
In the box. He's such a good finisher. But it didn't suit me to, chip in with goals, but kind of try and create them as well. I suppose the Rovers team, it's the goals can come from anywhere.
Yeah,
Behind
exactly.
the striker,
Yeah.
Graham Burke, Danny Mandrew, Jack Byrne, Dylan Watts. There's
Lyons is chipping in
lads-
now
the
as
lads
well.
Can chip in anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not as if you're relying on one
Yeah,
player.
exactly. But you do, like you said, you're involved in so many of the build-up play to the goals. It's ridiculous, like the play and how much you occupy the defenders. You were at Bristol for how long then after the 18 months, and how did you end up leaving Cambridge to go, listen, I'm gone now?
Yeah, signed for 18 months, did say 6 months in League Two.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 seasons in League One, but the second year in League One, so they started bringing in, or started spending money on players.
Did they get an investor in, or was it just gradually built up?
They did.
Yeah.
A family took over the club, and they just started putting a bit of money in, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just in hindsight, started buying a few players, especially probably attacking players. And I just kind of felt that they were getting more of an opportunity than I was.
Okay.
Probably because they were brought in on,
bigger money,
a transfer fee, and probably in hindsight I probably lost the head a bit.
Did you? Yeah. In what way?
Not lost the head, just kind of dropped my head. Just thought,
yeah,
it's coming to the end here. You probably know yourself where, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
Yeah. And how did you get through them bits? Did you rely on anybody to help you, or was it just one of those? Were you over there on your own?
No, I was there probably. There, my partner Sinead, she's from back home.
Yeah.
So she'd moved over with me, so she probably took the brunt of that on the Saturday evenings when I didn't want to leave the house. But yeah, that was probably the hardest part of it. Probably the part that people don't see. If you don't get a game on a Saturday and you go home on Saturday evening and you might even have a Monday off.
Yeah.
And you've nothing to do till Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
That can be the frustrating part of it.
Yeah. And you want to go out and do something or try and be active, but it's like, I understand it becomes the longest. I always found when you didn't have a release at the end of the week, it's like, what I'm not doing all this for now.
And even all week,
yeah,
to like maybe get on for 5 minutes,
yeah,
to get to warm up and not get your release, which is why you want to be a footballer, to play, to play on a Friday night or play on a Saturday morning.
It's the biggest thing I say to people when you finish. You've nothing to work towards, so you can go to the gym and you can do all this stuff, but you've nothing to then show for at the weekend to go, this is why I was working so hard, I can do this in a game.
Yeah, I suppose that is the frustrating part.
Yeah. And then how did you manage to move on then? Did obviously Salford came in for you, did they?
Yeah, I just got a call. I was on holiday. I got a call to say that Salford wanted to sign you, and they just got promoted from maybe the Conference North.
Yeah. And have you been watching much of their stuff on the telly?
I watched the odd bit of the documentary.
Right.
Then I was on holiday. I spotted that Graham Alexander become their manager.
Yeah. He's up in Motherwell now.
Yeah, and he'd done well, I think, with Scunthorpe and I think Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Obviously a big name, played till he was
That's
40.
right, yeah, he played for Burnley.
I think he made his Premier League debut at 37, 38.
Yeah.
But I was kind of thinking, Jesus, if he's taking over there,
yeah,
they're not messing about.
Yeah, I remember watching the documentary and them bringing them in. I think they got rid of the 2 lads that got them up, the joint managers.
Yeah.
And they were like, listen, we need to maybe become a bit more professional about things. But from when you went there to what it is now, has it changed that much? Have they improved the training ground? Has it been,
Yeah, I don't know really. They've been through quite a few managers and about 100
Yeah,
players. Anyways,
yeah.
like the year we got promoted, they had I don't know, maybe used about 40 players that year.
Did they?
Something mad like.
Yeah.
And then the following year came, it was a good turnover again, and I was out the door straight away. When we got promoted. And then I think they're all gone now. Like anyone that said that I played with no longer plays.
You invested in yourself, Richie Towell, Adam Rooney. You had a good Irish contingent there, didn't you?
Yeah, myself and Adam, we got to play with Richie for about 2 weeks while I was gone, and then Adam went 6 months later.
Yeah.
To Solihull.
And did you feel like, because you hear Neville talking about the Premiership and the infrastructure behind clubs and how you need to stick with managers, and then do you feel sometimes that he probably isn't doing that with Salford enough, or is he just trying to get them as high as he can, as quick as he can?
I think he was honest about that. You know, he said that they're putting the money in and they're trying to run it up through the leagues as quickly as possible. But it's never as easy as that.
No.
You know yourself, because especially over there, you're Salford, and there was like nearly a cup final
For everyone else?
Yeah, because you were thinking, if I play well against Salford, maybe I'll get the 3-year offer at the end of the season, or we're always bringing players in. So lads are probably thinking, because that's what used to happen. Someone would do well against us and go train with us next week.
What?
Yeah, like loanies and stuff like that. Yeah.
And was there much of the class of '92 around?
No, you'd never see them. You
might
see them on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You might see their face, but they kept.
Because Roy Keane and I was coming up to watches and stuff,
Keane
wasn't
used
he?
to go to the matches. You didn't even know he was there either. Alex Ferguson was at one of our games and didn't know he was even there till went home that evening. It was on the Daily Mail. That he was watching our match.
Right.
Do you think someone would tell us that Ferguson was there? Or even bring him in to say hello.
And how did you find the standard over there? Because I always say to people, the standard can be, on any given day, it can be the good game, or like in Ireland, right? Any given day you have good games, bad games, right? But it's relentless over there.
Yeah.
Your Saturday, Tuesday, you don't get
more games over there, and
you don't get a chance to go, right, something happened on Saturday, I need to fix this, and we're going to work on it for 3 days because we're really not happy about it. Like, you don't get that chance, do you?
No, and there's 24 teams in each league.
Yeah.
So whereas Ireland, there's 10 teams and you play each other 4 times. So you already know, like we're playing bowls on Friday.
Yeah.
You know the lads inside out.
Yeah.
Because you play against them so often.
Yeah.
Whereas there was lads in England, you wouldn't know who you're coming up against.
Yeah. And and that's the thing that I don't think. But standard-wise, did you think is it similar to League of Ireland, or is it just a little bit more
physical? Yeah,
and
physical, and you play through the winter.
The
pitch is cut up. It's cold. It's wet.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more probably
of a slog.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's and everyone's at it for results.
Yeah.
Really, it's.
Because I watch some of the football in Ireland, and I think most teams try and play. In fairness, they try.
Like here now under the gaffer, like I reckon I could step into any position on the pitch, and I'd know what he wants.
Yeah.
I could play wing back because I know what he wants from wing back. I know where they need to be when we have possession, when the other team say have possession. Whereas over there, like under certain managers, you'd be chopping changing formation, and you'd be like, oh, we're playing a diamond, and then all of a sudden, well, we didn't work on the diamond. The next thing we're 3-5-2.
Yeah.
And you're like,
we
haven't worked on any of this.
Yeah.
So that was probably frustrating, because then like you'd be going home on the bus and you lose, and lads would be saying this and lads would be saying that, but nobody really knew what was going on.
Yeah. Do you find that's down to the manager not having time maybe to work on things?
Yeah.
Or just the lack of, I just like listen, I just have to do what I can to get a result?
I'd say a bit of both.
Bit of both, yeah.
I'd say because of so many games.
Yeah.
It's probably so hard to do so much.
Was the drawing coming back even then, the fact that you could go on and play in Europe?
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the reasons. I went on loan to Walsall from Salford. There was a manager there that had been a manager of Bristol Rovers. So I mean, I left Bristol Rovers for a reason. So I probably shouldn't have gone back to them.
Yeah.
But it was late in the transfer window. I tried to leave Salford early in the window, and they said no. And then last minute, then they wanted me out, and I was like, could have gone back to St Johnson.
Yeah. Did they get back in for you?
Yeah.
Tommy Wright.
Yeah. I was thinking it's funny. Didn't sign me when I was on trial.
I know.
To bring me up.
Did you tell about the time when you knocked us back as well, when we were at Dundee and we tried to sign you from Bristol?
Yeah.
And you didn't want that. He says, I'm not playing in Scotland, and that rinky-dink league was what you said.
I just bought a house. We just moved into a house.
Was it?
Like 2 weeks.
So that's the reason, because you just got a house, like.
Well, yeah, it would have been a bit of.
You could have kept me in a job here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we rang to try and sign you, and
he said he didn't want me to go. The manager.
Did he?
Yeah, but like a week later, you go in and say, well, like a young playmate, and people are like, if you're not happy, you can leave.
Yeah.
And obviously, he rang in to sign, and he was like, no, you're not going anywhere.
All right.
So it was always kind of, you didn't know where you stood in a way.
Yeah, well, listen, it all worked out. You're doing clear the head now. I wouldn't be doing this if you had it came.
We got the link up eventually.
We got up eventually. We linked up. Yeah. Yes, the European stuff. You're looking forward to it this year as well. Some of the goals you scored in the last year. I know you dinked one of the keepers in Kuwait. Who was that against? Albania. Yeah, that was a lovely goal. Is it something you relish? Is it something the squad relishes?
Yeah. Well,
do you feel you have unfinished business in it as well?
Yeah, I was saying I went to Walsall. It was just a disaster from start to finish.
Yeah, in what way?
It was just bad. Like, just I didn't do well there. The team didn't do well.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, if I haven't done well now here for 6 months, not really playing in League Two, do I want to relocate or try to relocate in England? Do I want to? I always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to play in the League of Ireland and obviously play for one of the top teams.
Yeah.
So the option came to come back to Rovers. And actually, before I went to Cambridge, Pat Fenlon had tried to sign me to Rovers, and I thought I was signing up until the Cambridge came in. So I always kind of wanted to play for Rovers if I wanted to play for anyone in Ireland. Maybe because, well, for me it's the biggest club in Ireland.
Yeah.
When I played for Limerick, you'd look out for when are we going to Tala.
Yeah.
When we played Rovers at home, they'd always bring good support.
That's right. Yeah.
So and even just watching games over in telly, it'd always be Rovers and Bows.
Yeah.
On TV whenever they played.
Yeah.
So that's who we're playing Friday night on telly as well.
Yeah, no, and even the facilities then that you've come back to, like I touched on it. You were at St Johnson when I was there. Facilities aren't as good as what Rovers have. Exactly. Load up the minibus and see wherever it takes you, and then you
it was like that also in the end. The training ground was flooded. There was an issue. Yeah. And you get a text saying.
But even the
postcode in 2 hours.
Even the Salford one where they're like trying to find training grounds.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, like, you come back to Rovers and you go, it's all there. You live across the road.
Yeah.
Like, is that one of the things that you think, you know what, I can come and go as I please with the facility. I can rehab what I want, and that's been a big help for you, hasn't it, as well?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I can see why it is a lower, but it doesn't really bother me too much. But the facilities at Rovers are quality. Like Tala's just, the pitch is amazing.
Yeah.
You know? Especially when
and the new gym then as well helps.
Yeah, they've added to Roadstone. You know, you've your pitch and a half up there in AstroTurf. Yeah. And then you've got the new facility indoors, and I'm sure they've plans to expand again.
Yeah, well, obviously with the Gavin deal going through as well, there might be. You're hoping that there's a bit of an expansion comes off of when you see the likes of young players going away now, where they're coming up. And you see the market for them now, where like that's what it's about. That's why you do it, isn't it? Like that's why we built the place, that you can hopefully get more of them through and somewhere for them to train properly.
Yeah, and again, I suppose they get they get to come through the academy, play the underage league of Ireland. Yeah. If they want to, put their head down in school and go on to college, I suppose by the time they're bit like Scalesy, maybe by the time they're 21, 22, they could have.
Scalesy is a great example.
100 games played, a degree in their back pocket, and then they can go wherever they want.
You said to me earlier about Salford, just about like some days, the gates were probably bigger if Man United were playing away. Get an influx of sort of some fans coming that wouldn't be able to travel away to Man United, and you see, and then it come up and down and fluctuate. Was that like when you see what Rovers have done, and that the fans have actually helped save the club, and now they're building it up like that? That's where, like you said, there's a bit of a soul side of Rovers,
Well, going back to when I played for Bristol Rovers, like the fans there they were mad, they were. Could be 10, 11,000 at the game, like mid-table in League Two. Yeah. And even they got promoted there a couple of weeks ago there under Joey Barton.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And but they were selling games out from Easter onwards.
Yeah. Glenn Whelan's there, isn't he?
Yeah, they were chasing promotion, and they're selling out. I think it's 12 or 13,000.
Yeah.
So if they're able to get that in League Two, so I thought, having only really played for them, I just presumed it'll be like that in the next place.
Yeah.
But then the next place was Salford, and there was no fans really.
Was it not?
There was. Obviously, they're a new team. They're they're trying to bring the club up through the leagues, but there was it didn't really matter. I think if you won or lost.
Right.
Like Bristol, you could be 0-0 or 1-0 down at half time. You're going to be booed off the pitch.
Right.
Whereas Salford, it didn't really matter because most of them were wearing Man United jerseys anyways.
Yeah.
And I was saying if United were away, maybe more Man United fans would come out just to watch a game of football.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and hoping to see one of the lads maybe or something like that. You know.
And then coming back to Shamrock Rovers, you can see that there's, what it means to the fans.
You got injured about a month into your Rovers when you first came back, and then you had to sit out probably the rest of the season. That was difficult for you, was it?
Yeah.
And listen, I'd like to touch on you moving back, because I know I spoke to you off camera about this before. Like when you're moving back to Dublin and you're thinking, right, we'll live in Dublin with me and your Mrs. Sinead, but then you get hit with the cost of living in Dublin. You were like, what's going on here? So now you're sort of going, well, I'll stay up a few days, I'll go back home to see Sinead at the weekends and when you can, but Pico touched on it as well, because I know Pico just got a house, but it's hard, isn't it? Like the cost of living in Dublin is...
I think if I'd done my research, I probably would have stayed where I was, you know. But it's mad, like what people have to pay for rent and maybe try and save for a house. So we made the decision just to move back home to Tuam and Galway and bought a house there.
All right.
So we're very lucky.
But that's where you're going to settle, is it, eventually?
Yeah, you never know in football, but I'd like to think that's where we'll settle. But I know we're very lucky to get the house because around the time of COVID, so probably ruled out a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. Just drive up.
Galway's a lot easier to get to now.
It's 2 hours, so
yeah.
You can get back home anytime you want.
Yeah.
When we'll get days off and stuff.
And what would you do outside of football to relax or
play golf?
Do you? You golfer, yeah?
Started there about a year ago, yeah.
You any good?
Not bad. Dylan Watts is the man to catch in the club though, yeah.
What's he play off?
I think he's off 8.
Is he?
And he only got his handicap a week ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's one of those, isn't
maybe
he?
Maybe you have to bring he has the technique
does
with
he?
Football, doesn't he? So.
Just doesn't, like he's probably one of those, he strikes me as some fellow who doesn't overly think it, because I'm not sure he's that way inclined, do you know what I mean?
I don't know, he's well able to, played with him once and he's well able to...
Is he?
To go around the course, yeah.
Yeah, and when he's only got into it, that's surprised me, no?
So
so that's what you do, you like the golf then?
Yeah. I think
take it easy.
What I'll get into when the football finishes anyways.
Yeah, would it?
Yeah.
And what's your ambitions then after football to like, hold on, turn around here. What's your ambitions then after football, or what's your ambitions for the rest of your time at Rovers, say, like?
I suppose trying to be successful as possible, really.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's winning the league, I'd like a day out in Aviva anyways.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to win a cup and hopefully go on a run in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like you said, I think you're more than capable. And eventually, if and when you do decide that's you, what would you be looking to do after football?
I don't know.
Would you go into coaching? I
started doing actually the B licence.
Did you?
Surf and Green are doing it, and Andy Lyons is doing it as well. Right. But the thing is, there's just so much to know. So I'm sure you found out about it in your time in Scotland.
Yeah, I think even with like when you're your coaching badges, so much to know. You'd be surprised at what you actually do know.
Yeah. Well, I always view the game from the eyes of a forward.
Yeah.
I'd watch a game and I'd be thinking, oh, the forward needs this, or the forward needs that, or maybe the forward should do this or should do that. But I wouldn't be.
But you flip it. So if I'm coaching strikers, I can turn around and say, if you went in there, that would cause me trouble. I don't want you there. Like play there. But you can turn around and go, as a defender, I don't like if a defender does that to me. So there's more knowledge that you'll know, and you'll start unlocking it as you go.
I think it's more the tactical side of the game. Formations versus formations, or if you were on the sideline and thinking, what change will I make? But I suppose it's probably figure that out when you realise what players you have. Yeah, you do.
With. Yeah, it's one of the simplify it is, what can I do to make us look more threatening, and what can I do to stop them looking threatening.
Yeah.
And if you can answer them that split second, you'll be grand. Who would be your biggest influences on your career then today? Who would be the ones that you think, I'm thankful for their advice and their help? And
so at the start, Johnny Glynn.
Yeah.
At Merview, Johnny's mad as well. He could ring you at 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just ring you to see if you're out of bed.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you want to be a professional footballer, you should be up now, and you should have been to the gym. You should have had your breakfast.
Right.
You've been up, haven't you? And you'd be like, yeah, lying in bed, just trying to make it look. Then he'd ring you 10 o'clock at night. You think, what's up, Johnny? He's like, you should be in bed. You should be asleep.
Yeah.
So he'd always be pushing you, and he would have showed us what you needed to do if you wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
So I suppose without him, like, you know, he always, like, he trained us. We trained quite hard at Mervyn.
Yeah,
we
that's
were
right,
amateur, but I remember we used to. I'm gonna say we trained 4 days a week. It would have been Sunday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, match Friday.
Yeah.
Like, there was no one getting paid for it, but you know, a lot of lads put the effort in. Like Pat Uben went on, obviously.
Yeah.
Had a good career for himself. A couple of lads went on to play for Galway United.
Yeah.
So
You just wanted to get to where you wanted to go, didn't you?
Yeah,
Like in that way, you just wanted to get every bit of talent you had out of yourself, like, you know.
Proper training, you know, was organised. Everything was set up for us. We'd get fed after training. You know, they did what they could for us. Merview. There's not been so much that they could do.
Yeah.
Then I played a lad, Derek O'Brien. Do you remember him, winger?
I think so. Yeah.
Played with him at Limerick. He actually lives in Tuam now. He played for Galway United, so I would have watched him for years, but he's been a counsellor on and off for me for a number of years.
Right, that's good. But it's good that you have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to people that have you know, been there and know what you're going through. Whereas, you know, you can talk to obviously people, say family and friends, but they haven't been in the dressing room. So
I think that's where you lean on people to say, well, what do I do in this situation, or what do you think? And it might be one of those. Listen, you're right. Go with your gut, or listen, just relax and see how it plays out. Sometimes, you know. But you've had a great career and it's still going. You've been fantastic for Rovers this year. Like I said, I've come across you a few times now with paths across, but you've been excellent for the club, and long may it continue, and best of luck going into Europe and everything. All right, thanks. Show you Tallaght Stadium now.
Somewhere down there, is I can see the woodies.
See the woodies to the right of the woodies there.
Yeah.